So here is the target from my last quarterly requal with my department. This is the standard silhouettes we use for our qualifications. The firearm I use is my duty issue Smith & Wesson M&P 40 caliber and shooting 180 grain hollow points. And the only reason I'm showing this is just to kind of show a little bit my mindset when it comes to speed versus accuracy. Now, a lot of the times when you do qualifications, a lot of the people will go for the tightest shot group. There's always a lot of competition, at least I've seen in my world, a lot of competition on who can get the tightest shot groups, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually really fun to do. I've kind of taken a different mindset and I've went away from that a little bit. I'm going more towards how fast can I engage the target, even in a qualification setting. How fast can I engage the target and still keep the rounds within the silhouette? My mindset is, if I'm out on the road, out on the highway, if I miss a target in a deadly encounter scenario, that round is going to go somewhere. I don't want that round to go into an innocent car. I don't want it striking a bystander. I don't want somebody innocent getting hurt. So it's really important for me to make sure all my rounds hit the intended target. This right here is kind of me, this shot pattern right here is kind of the result of me pushing myself and shooting fast right up to the point to where my shots are starting to get a little scattered out. If I sped up a little bit more than what I shot during this qualification, my rounds would start falling off the silhouette. And to me, that's unacceptable. I want to make sure I get all rounds on target. So I'm basically gauging myself, and now I know, okay, at this particular shot cadence, this is what I can do at 15 yards, 10 yards, 5 yards, 3 yards, so forth. It's kind of a way to grade myself, to know, hey, should I slow things down a little bit? Should I speed it up? This right here is about the maximum speed. I don't want to go any faster until I get a little bit better, a little bit more practice. And honestly, I could stand to slow down just a little bit. But all shots were on target. I got a perfect score as far as the qualification goes. So good for the qualification, and good for knowing that, hey, in a deadly encounter scenario, there's a good chance that all my rounds are going to hit on target as long as I stay within that area, that kind of comfort zone where I'm at right now as far as the cadence of fire. Now there's a couple shots, some shots here in the D zone. One low, that was actually from 10 yards. We do 15 yards, 10 yards, 5 yards, 3 yards. And this was actually from 10 yards. And this was actually the first shot. I came out of the holster and I shot immediately. So the first shot went kind of low. I didn't have a good sight picture yet. And actually my spotter, it's kind of interesting. He said, yeah, you had a real rapid rate of fire, but my shot started low. I put some rounds center, and then I walked up and I actually put these two at 10 yards. So it's kind of actually, I stitched the target up. I was shooting really fast, and what that told me, which it's great to have a spotter. That's another little side point. It's great to have a spotter if you're shooting. They can tell you where you're hitting. They can give you input as far as your stance, your positioning, all that good stuff. But what that tells me is, basically, because I kind of stitched the target up on that run, was I was just getting out of that zone of accurate fire. I was going, my first shot was low. I had real rough flash sight pictures going on, and I was right at that point to where I was almost losing control of the gun. So what that told me is, well, okay, with the input that I gained from my spotter, I said, well, I should back it off just a little bit when it comes to shooting to get that group better, or better yet, I should practice more at that rate of fire to try and control the gun a little bit better, work on the fine mechanics, and get my shot group tighter at that high rate of speed. 5 yards, 3 yards, of course, that's just point shooting. If I'm shooting under 10 yards, pretty much everything is point shooting when you're coming to a silhouette size target. And to me, that's realistic. That could be a whole nother video, the whole point shoot versus front sight post. That's a whole other debate, but that's basically my preference. If I'm really close with somebody, I'm going to point shoot, because that's what your body is going to naturally do anyway. It's just kind of a part of the fight or flight reflex. It's how your biology works, physiology works, all that good stuff. But anyway, the main point behind this video, I know I'm getting long-winded here, and you guys are probably tired of just staring at this target. But the main point of this video is just kind of stress yourself a little bit. Get up to right at that point where you start spreading your shot groups out, when you're right at that point where you're almost missing the target. That's a good way to gauge where you're at. It's okay to shoot tight groups, but if the group's tight, you're shooting too slow, speed it up a little bit. If your group's way off and you're missing the target, slow it down. Kind of find that sweet spot. All right, thanks a lot for watching, and as always, keep it safe.